Cylinders with holes take free, arguably 4. Start with a new file. I'll show you two methods. First with a plane, which I will subdivide a few times, say 7, to get 8 by 8 squares. Then let me just set this to random. No, just so it's a bit easier to see my lines. And let me turn on screencast keys. There we go. So let's take this and turn it into a single face and use loop tools to turn it into a circle. Then inset that. And let's inset this, but then use O to make it an outset. Then take these, turn off auto merge if it's on, and slide them outside, excuse me, even to that way. There we go. What the heck? Excuse me. There we go. So I want roughly a square so that I can then circle it with 50% strength to get a sort of in between. Right. Delete that. Rotate this around the y-axis by 90 degrees. And use hard ops. Twist 360. This looks like a mess. Let's press R. There we go. It's flipped. Let's press F. There we go. So I should have aligned it to the other axis then, but you know, that's what R and F are for. Get 6 segments in there. View it from this side and call it again to adjust it until the circle looks pretty circular. Now, I think I'll remove, oh, excuse me, these top and bottom verts. And I would like the origin to be over there. So I'm going to go into, move my cursor there. And then set origin to 3D cursor. And then Alt-G to reset the position. So let's slide this out a little bit. And then just mirror it or symmetrize it across. Get a little bit more even topology. Perhaps slide these a little bit as well. Symmetrize it. There we go. Now, let's see what a solidify looks like. Usually use even thickness. There we go. And let's go for 25. And then subdivide it. So this looks good to me. The only problem I have is that the inside is considerably smaller than the outside, which isn't how it would be machined. So I'm actually going to apply, get rid of the sub D for now and apply the solidify. Then go in edit mode and turn on show on cage on all of these mods so that I can grab the inside. Well, maybe not on the, on the array. Let me think. No, not quite. Well, I just need to know which side is the inside, really. Okay, this side's the inside. And I'll use that to view it like this. And then scale it on the x-axis until it's a circle. And then, you know, don't show these in edit mode for a sec so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Scale this on the x-axis. Scale, or just move these. Maybe even move this a little bit. Yeah. And symmetrize that across again. And of course delete these faces, because those won't be useful at all for the array. And now, you know, while I'm here, I'm actually gonna add an edge loop or 2 or 3 down the middle like that, and remove the middle one because I don't think it's necessary. Because now if we subdivide, get a pretty perfect result. But let's add another array modifier. Set it to go 1 on the z-axis and reset our 3D cursor so it's at the same point as this one so that we can add an empty. I like to use a sphere because rotation is what I'm going to be using it for. RZ30. Why do I know it's 30? Because there's 6 of these, and 360 divided by 6 is 60, divided by 2 is 30. That's how much I want to offset it. So I'm going to parent this empty to this object and then hide it. And here we're going to enable merge first and last, but also object offset with our empty. Well, by the looks of it, those aren't quite aligned. Shouldn't be hard to fix because I can just, let's see. Let's just put the cursor in the middle here. Just hide all the mods for a sec. And set the origin to the 3D cursor, and then I can mirror around that. See, which side do I prefer? Sure, why not that one? So mirror it this way, mirror it that way. Now they should match. Oh no, of course they don't, and it makes sense that they don't. Okay, well that's fine. I can fix it another way. My bad. Don't worry about it. Ah yes. Gonna wanna apply everything so that it's back where it should be. I have a better idea. So let's just enable all of these in edit mode, and on cage. And then I can just pick this vert and slide it towards that vert. I think I'd rather slide this one. Well, evidently the real geometry is on this side, so I'll go over here. Up, slide that one. Whoa, it's going crazy. What is happening? What a mess. Alright, let me just undo that for a bunch. Oh, okay. Undo is a bit buggy in Blender still. Ignore that. Undo is a bit buggy in Blender still. My last save was back here. Yikes. Alright, that's fine. Another way to fix it. I need it to align with itself when it's half offset. So I'll just take this, copy it, move it there, just 1 and 1.5 meters. And these ones align, and this one is this one, and this one is this one. So all I need to do is GX, no, it's just GG. Let me turn on vertex snapping, GX, boom. Now that's over there, and I can delete all these, symmetrize it that way, symmetrize it that way. Okay, calm down. Excuse me. Set origin to 3D cursor, symmetrize it that way, there we go. And now Control A, okay. These are aligned again. See, that wasn't so hard. Right. And now we can increase this count. I'm gonna go with 4 because 500,000 tries already because of the subdivision. Speaking of which, I'm gonna move that array above the subdivision. And just hide that. It's 2 levels, right? Oh, 3, that's a bit much. Let's go back down to 2. Oh, haven't even smooth shaded. Ta-da! So, let's show you how to somewhat non-destructively get this bottom edge going, or bottom thing going. So what I would do is hide the subdivision, Control A, visual geometry to mesh, keep original, hide the original, and then take this new one, go into edit mode, and, excuse me, can I click correctly? Please. There we go. And Control E, bridge these edge loops. Oh, right, because of the crash, screencast key is closed. So I've got this now, which I want. And I think I'm going to extrude this down a little bit and add an edge here, which I will bevel that way. And then just rip this with V. Same on the inside. Grab this and just separate it by selection. This is bottom cap. Which I'll use with the array modifier in a second. And then I will duplicate it, rotate it, not around the 3D cursor, but around its own origin. I'll reset the 3D cursor as well. Apply that rotation on this guy and apply anything on this guy. All right, I can hide or delete that now. Won't be needing it anymore. Show this, and now note that you'll want the point of attachment to be on the 0 line. And now on this array, caps start, start and end, rather. Start, end. And now I can hide the start and the end. And, okay, that didn't quite end up where I had in mind. But, okay, I can deal with it, I guess. The start one is somehow wrong. I'll just go in edit mode. No? Bloody hell. Let's go for this one. Show everything in edit mode. And then maybe that will fix it somehow. Interesting. How am I supposed to work with that then? Well, let's try moving it up like this much and see what happens. Oh, well, that seems to have worked. Sure, whatever. I don't know why that was like that. Perhaps because this isn't in the center. Right, well, not a big deal. I can put it in the center. So, cursor to selected. Set origin to 3D cursor. And then reset the movement so that's over here. Alright, that looks a little bit odd. Perhaps it has something to do with this empty? Yes. So move that empty back up. Back down. I just wanted it at 0. It's not that much to ask. Wait, what? Alright, hold on. This is there. Alright. Let's just get rid of the parent. And then reparent it, I guess. Sure, whatever. Fixed. Okay, now. Move this down to here again. -1.5. I am so thoroughly confused. This cap thing should not be that bloody difficult. It really shouldn't. It's making the video longer than it needs to be. I'm sorry for being dumb. Oh, that increases the distance from that, so I can't use that either. How odd. Maybe I have a better idea. Maybe I'll use a displace modifier. Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Yeah. There we go. Move it up by this much with the displace mod. Problem solved. And then do the same thing for the end, where I move it down with the displace mod. Easier than doing it in edit mode and having to guess. Oh, what the heck? Control just the mid-level, that's not what I want. I'll just type the values. 0, minus 0.75, and hide it. There you go. Good enough. So now it's non-destructive, kinda. I mean, you can't change the solidify. Oh, right, I applied the solidify, so that's irrelevant. But yeah, you have to apply the solidify if you want the holes to be the same width on the inside of the cylinder as they are on the outside. If you don't care about that, then you don't need to apply the solidify. And you can just put it where it was when I added it. Right, and now the whole point of this cap endeavor was that we could change the length and the caps move with it, which is nice. And if you want to get crazy with it, then we could no. Okay. No, not a sphere cost, which, I mean, that's neat too, but we could add like a curve mod set to this curve and do something with that. Let's set this back to 4. Oh, right, the resolution of the curve is pretty low. Let's up that to 256 or something. I don't know, you could do something with that if you want. I don't. So there's one method, and then the other method was to use a boolean on a cylinder and clean it up. But don't know how necessary that is, because this one worked out quite well. And has the sort of advantage that you could, theoretically, adjust the twist 360 after the fact. Okay, that instantly destroyed everything. Which is cool. But, yeah. Just manually adjust this then. Alright. So that makes it so the center isn't aligned, which makes sense. Maybe I'll just hide this array for a second, this sub-D, to make it a little easier to manage. Say I wanted only 4. Do that. Something like that. And then you'd want to scale the inside one up some more to compensate. But I can't be bothered. Turn those mods back on. Oh god, that isn't aligned anymore now that it's 4. Fair enough. And of course the bottom ones are fucked. But, well, you get the idea. It's neat. It's neat enough. I'll go to the next file and show you a more traditional way that relies a little less on hard ops, because it doesn't, you won't need twist 360. How long is this video already? 20 minutes. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna up this size, set that to 48 segments, because it's divisible by 6, which is necessary if you want 6 holes. Make 7 loop cuts in this direction, because then there's 8, which I like. I'm gonna put my cursor here and add another cylinder. 12 segments is good for this. Scale that down. I'm gonna get rid of that for a sec, just hide it. Inset this by 0.25 and bridge edge loops. I did it on the top and bottom, that's why I can do that. And, you know, add 7 cuts on this place. Yep, that's 7. Okay, get my cutter back. Fix its orientation. Scale it up. This much looks pretty good. Let's see how it would match on this side. That's probably fine. And then if you have bool tool, you can do control numpad minus. Or if you have hard ops, you can subtract it with that. Or you can do like Boolean difference. No, that's hops anyway. Fuck. I don't know. You can do it without hard ops, but it is convenient to have in it. So there you go. Now turn on auto merge to save you some time, and I'm gonna turn on X symmetry while I'm at it because it's nice. And you know what? Z symmetry as well. Why not? So these edges here that form this cylinder, those are important for the shape, so I don't slide those. Instead, I slide everything else towards those. And auto merge makes this process pretty quick and painless. What's that? Wait, that's it? That's it. That's how easy it is. And now I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. So uppa, uppa, uppa. Don't worry about triangles or 5 poles. It doesn't really matter after you add the support loops. So there's that. Now let's select this. You should be able to just alt click or double click in my case, because I use free button mouse emulation because I don't want to wreck my middle mouse button. It's happened before. So press I to inset and then press O to make it an outset so that you can push out these support loops. You want these to be pretty big. So let's say that big. Sure, why not? Then let's make some space for it, especially in this department. So I'll join this and slide it significantly that way and then dissolve that again. Which, by the way, is not the same as... Well, it might be similar to sliding it here and then there and then here, but this is easier and you get to have it exactly right. And like... sliding something there and then pressing C and then doing this, that will offset it off of the surface, which you don't want. So that's why I prefer to just add a loop cut and work with that. So let's see, anything else that needs to move out? Sure, it would be nice to move these out a little bit. Move these out just a touch. That's probably fine. Let's do the same thing on this side. Because triangles and poles and stuff pull geo more than quads, you'll want to extend this a little further than you might think you have to. Because you don't want any unnecessary pinching. So let's subdivide that. And I leave it in flat shading so I can see the individual faces. But yeah, look, this gets pulled closer to here because it's a triangle. This might even be a little too close. Let's slide it a little bit more that way. So that's nice. Oh. This is a pretty fun workflow, though it can get a little boring sometimes. How's this? Let me turn that sub D off, and yeah, that looks similar size, so just one loop down the middle will do. Nice and smooth. You can even do this, and then that, don't make it an outset. And now you've got a chamfer. Which might be what you're going for. But I'm not going to do that in this video in particular. So there's that. Now I want to array this around here, which I'm going to do in a very simple, lazy way by, or not in a destructive like edit mode way. So 3D cursor, right? Pivot around the 3D cursor, and then delete everything we don't need, which is, well, let me think. Probably this, that, and then delete all of these. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's just hide the sub D altogether for a sec. All right, go in edit mode, select everything. Let me think if there's any other loops I might want to add before I do this. So I want to get rid of this and this. I am quite happy that I didn't move these top ones, because that proved to be a hassle last time, as you saw in the previous 20 minutes of the tutorial. I'm gonna leave this for now, actually. Why not? Let me just show this trick. So Shift D, R, Z, 60. Boom, places it there. Now you might think, oh, do I have to repeat those motions every time? No, Shift R repeats that. And because auto merge is on, merging by distance should remove 0 verts. There you go. And I'll turn off my X and Z symmetry now, just in case I like mess something up because of it. So I'd say these top and bottom caps, yeah, maybe I should remove them. So let's use array. On the Z, excuse me, on the Z axis, relative mode, move it up by 1, boom. Sure, whatever. Let's add our empty sphere RZ 60, no, 30, my bad, 30, there you go. Go in the array, move that above the sub D, turn on merge, of course, and object offset, there we go, turn on first last, which will be necessary for the caps. So far so good. Give me 4 copies in there. Shade smooth. Oops. Parent this guy to that, and then hide it. Look at that. Another perfectly valid workflow that relies less on modifiers and more on knowing how to use edit mode. And of course, if you think these edges are too smooth, you know, the nice thing is you left a ton of space, so it's really easy to just add edge loops, bevel, crease, even just use a bevel modifier, which we put before both of these. Turn on wireframe. 2 segments, profile, 1. Ugh, too laggy. I'm going to turn off the sub D for a second. Ah, of course. Set this to angle. I like to set this to arc. Reduce that size. Ooh, that angle, of course, you know, this, I don't want to bevel that or that. Don't know why it thinks this is sharp and this isn't. I guess because they're both basically exactly 30 degrees. So let's just up this to like 60 and then it, you know, won't mess up and grab edges that it shouldn't. I'll generally turn off clamp overlap. Let's just go with the 50 millimeters or whatever. Turn the sub D back on. Ta-da! Now it's sharper. So if you look super closely around the circles, you might notice, I don't notice it here, but if during the process of making the circle, your shape became not a cylinder anymore, don't worry about that. I'll resolve that right now. Just hide all my mods completely because they're kind of annoying. And just select circles and then Shift G by face angles so that you can grab all of these. Control E, mark seam so that I can get the inside and the outside separately easily. Control G, assign to new group. Same for the inside. I like to name my groups so that I know what's what. Outside, inside. There you go. And now add a cylinder. 48 segments with the, you know, correct size. Delete the top, delete the bottom. Make it a bit taller because that could cause problems if we don't. Subdivide it like 4 times just so you know it's subdivided enough. And then I like to go and shade wire so that it doesn't get in my way. And then I'll just hide it. And then we can add a shrink wrap mod. Nearest surface point on surface I find works well for this. And use the outside group. And then again, and if it changes the shape drastically, then you might want to apply them, dissolve this loop and add this loop back. Just so you know. Or we can just dissolve this loop in general. Since we're using a bevel mod anyway, it isn't really necessary. We'll just go around and dissolve those. Right, and then I'll duplicate this, set it to inside, but offset it by 0.25, which is how much we originally inset it when we made the inside. So the difference might be extremely subtle, and I like to move these before the subdivision, because the subdivision smooths the edges as well. And there you go. Ah, right, before the array also. And probably before the bevel, just before everything else. There you go. So now, you'll see it did adjust it a little bit. It's very subtle. Let's see if I can make it more obvious using a matte cap. So yeah, if you're a perfectionist, I suppose you can do that. Shrink wrap it to your original shape. That's a good tip in general when you're using curves in your hard surface designs, to use shrink wrap. It's a very powerful tool. So yeah, there's the ways that I like to make cylinders with holes, which I just came up with today because someone asked me. Wow.